What's up guys, welcome back to another vlog. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jacob, this is Punting for the People. I'm an Australian and I'm living here in Germany. It's a kind of quick re-upload. It's been a while since I've uploaded a lot of videos in quick succession. I'm trying to upload a video every day this week because I feel like I have been starving you guys for content over the last 2 to 3 weeks, just with all the stuff that's been taking up my time. Today's vlog, as you can tell from the title, is all about rugby in Germany. Now, for Germans who aren't aware, there are different kinds of rugby, so I'll explain exactly what this title means. For those of you who are new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. For those of you who are returning watchers or viewers, thank you so much for sticking by and supporting me. If you are not subscribed and you would like to subscribe to the channel, please do consider subscribing. Hit the little button below the window and help me grow. Also, just quietly, it is my birthday tomorrow, and as I mentioned in a previous vlog, if you have the means, I would love to get some extra supporters on my Patreon. I will put the link in the description window below, but you don't have to. So, on the weekend, we went to Dresden, or really we went to Kamenz, which is just out of Dresden, because Marianne had to upgrade or swap over her car. Her lease was up, she purchased a new car, which I'll probably talk about in a later vlog, but she had to take the old one back, which obviously because she is from that area, we had to drive it back to the dealership. While we're in Dresden, you know, I spent 2 seasons playing football there for the Monarchs, so I have a few friends, a few acquaintances, and a few that I still keep in touch with, one in particular being Tony. Tony is a British gentleman who has been featured in my vlog, where me and him tried a lot of beers and he handled his alcohol a lot better than I did. But he mentioned a couple of weeks ago when I said I was coming to Dresden that he had a football game on the weekend. Some people will be like, Jacob, it's GFL off season, how can there be a football game on the weekend? That is because the game is not American football. It is something that me and Tony are more accustomed to than most people here in Germany, and that is rugby. So we drove down and we made our way to the field in Dresden. It was a beautiful day for any kind of sport. The temperatures dropped a little bit, the sun's still out sometimes. And yeah, we made our way down to the field. The team has one of the best names or best mascots I've ever heard. They are the Dresden Hillbillies. I think that's awesome. It's just, I love funny mascot names, and I think the Hillbillies is an amazing one. So we got down there, we surprised Tony. We had we hadn't mentioned anything about coming down for a couple of weeks. I said, you know, we'd try and stop by if we could. It was definitely in my plans to do so. So we went down there. Tony unfortunately had an injury a couple of weeks ago, so it has left him out of playing football this week, but it was good because he was on the sideline. We got to kind of talk and have more of a catch up. And he was there with his son, Jack. We still keep in touch through video games, talking to him and his son, so it was great to see him and catch up in person and also watch a game of football. Now, when I mention football, there are different types of codes. Some people refer to football as what I would refer to as soccer. Then other people refer to football as American football. In Australia, there are 3 other codes that are major ones. That would be Australian football, which is what I come from. My background is in Australian football. Then there is rugby league, which is one of the largest sports in Australia. And then outside of rugby league, there is also another rugby union. So when you hear someone say rugby, you kind of have to confirm whether they're talking rugby union or rugby league, because both are big around the world. Generally more in Europe and the United Kingdom, rugby union takes over in terms of power. whereas you get more towards the Oceania region, like in Australia, and you have more rugby league. But then obviously with New Zealand, rugby union is huge. So Dresden Hillbillies are the local rugby union team. So, explaining rugby in Germany or rugby in Dresden. Rugby is an extremely physical sport. As you can see by the clips, there are no pads, there are no kind of set formations, very much more of a free-flowing game than American football, and it's still violent. Like, it is quite violent. You see a lot of rugby union players, not so much rugby league, but rugby union players have the cauliflower ears like mixed martial arts fighters, because there are things called rucks and scrums where you have to basically get in this really tight space and you're constantly having pressure put on your head and your ears, and a lot of rugby union players wear head guards to kind of protect themselves because there is that constant threat of contact to the head. It's full contact, you know, it's full go, no pads, you're running. Anywhere below the shoulders is fair game in this sport, so you can take a really big beating to all of your body. But it is incredibly entertaining to watch. It is, from my perspective, I'm not a huge rugby union fan, but from my perspective, it is a game of possession and position. Because if you can maintain possession, it's not like American football where you have 4 downs to make 10 yards, and if you don't, you have to punt. In rugby union, as long as you maintain possession in the rucks, which is sometimes difficult to do, you have an unlimited amount of plays to work your way down the field. If you can't maintain possession in the rucks, or you're having trouble moving the ball, well, then it becomes a game of field position. You can kick the ball and try and get it downfield as much as possible, and then try and overpower your opponent in their territory to get a better field position, kind of working a little bit like a punt, where you punt them into deep position, keep them kind of at bay, and then when they kick it back, you end up in a better field position. That's how I see it. But nonetheless, it is an extremely entertaining and fun game, especially for someone like me who knows the rules. I've only played rugby union once before. It was in like a 9th grade high school contest, and it was before I realized that if you run at someone really hard, you're going to do more damage than generally they will. So I was basically just the kid getting thrown around and ending up in the bottom of the ruck. So it wasn't a fun, entertaining time for me playing rugby, but it was enjoyable. One of the greatest parts of rugby is when the ball goes out of bounds, there is something called a line out. It's similar to a soccer throw-in, except instead of just throwing the ball directly to your player, you're throwing it straight down the line to a bunch of like your players and the opposition players. You throw it straight down the middle, and you have designed plays where you lift up, 2 people will lift up your player, you have to attempt to grab the ball, and then you can either hold it or throw it backward. And it's such an amazing thing. It's kind of graceful for such a violent sport that they do this every time the ball goes out of bounds. But it is a really amazing thing, and I love seeing it. It just makes the game so much more entertaining. Now, yes, this video is kind of explaining rugby and explaining what we were doing when we were in Dresden, but when the game finished, Tony's team, the Hillbillies, won. It was, I think, 31-8. I haven't looked at the footage just yet, but I think it was around that score. But as soon as the game was done, they shake hands like a regular American football game, go thank the fans, and then there's this picture I've got of Tony walking onto the field with this stack of beer. The opponents did the exact same thing. Like right after the game, they're into the beers, they're talking, laughing, getting along, and it's great to see in any sport, in any level, whether it be ground roots level or high professional level. Not so much obviously the drinking of the beer, but the enjoyment and the fun that it brings everyone, and the fact that it brings everyone together. There was barbecues and fans and cheering, and I think that's one of the best parts about sport that I can explain to someone that has no idea what rugby is about or no idea what American football is about. And that is that the sense of community and family that it brings to you is amazing. I know me being out here playing American football on my own with no family. I have Marianne, yes, but no family, leaving all my friends back in Australia. Without that sense of community and that sense of family that the sport brings to me, I'd kind of be like a lost sheep. So seeing it from a spectator's perspective, which is something that I rarely get to do because I'm playing all the time, was special. And it kind of hit me. I was like, wow, this is one of the things that I really love about playing competitive team sports. But yeah, it was a great day. It was great seeing Tony and Jack again. It was great going down to Dresden. It's always great being places that you've been before, seeing how they're changing and how they're evolving. And yeah, it was just a great day for a game of footy. But guys, that was our weekend in Dresden. We took the car back, we went and saw a couple of other sites, and we went and saw a rugby game in Germany, and it was great. For those of you who aren't aware of what rugby union is, maybe it might inspire you to go and check out the rules or even watch a game. The Rugby World Cup is going on at the moment, and Australia is sucking and England is destroying everyone, it seems. But yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I'll be bringing you a lot of content this week. But until that happens, I want to say thank you. My name is Jacob. This is Punting for the People, and I'll see you in the next vlog. See ya.